Welcome back to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I am your host, April. Inspire, host, create, explore endless new possibilities, next level broadcasting. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Let's pray. Dear Lord, I pray for everyone this new year. I pray that the hope for a better future will not be placed in an inanimate object that has no conscious thought or care for the ones putting all their hope and faith into it. My God, I pray that they will find you to place their joy, their fear, hope, and faith in you and in you alone. I pray for the lost, the hurt, and the jaded. I pray for the pain and rejection that the world inflicted on them. Lord, may we gain compassion and understanding from you so that we may shine your love and light in a darkened world as we leave the old behind and embrace the new with you, our Alpha and our Omega, our Prince of Peace, Lord of Lords, and King of Kings. Help us not only to remember the hardships of the past year, but also the wonderful memories. I pray that we not only embrace the good in the new year, but lean on you when hard times eventually come. Thank you, Prince of Peace, for drawing close to us with your comforting presence, guiding us in this fallen and very messy world. We love and trust you with all of our hearts, our Savior and King. In Jesus' name, amen. Good morning. Happy New Year, Miss Mary.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you, April.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning, and I want to discuss the Postal Service with you and your listeners.
Okay. Well, this is the first, we're way past the new year, but this is the first new interview of the new year, so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying to Miss Mary. Okay, Miss Mary wants to get this out, and we want to hear what you have to say. Go on, Miss Mary.
Okay. Starting, I would say, the 1st of November. I'm going to backing up some. I had something that never happened to me before that I can remember, although I'm getting up in age. The Postal Service. I don't know if they're revamping it or what they are doing with the Postal Service. But I haven't been getting my mail. But I can go online and look at copies of what they were supposed to have been sent on those days. Now, whose house did my mail go to that I didn't get it?
Okay, so what Miss Mary's talking about, the Postal Service has this thing that I learned about by accident called informed delivery.
Exactly.
And when I first started having issues, I'm sorry to cut in, issues with my deliveries of from Amazon, Walmart, Amazon, different packages, I was having problems tracking, and I've talked about it before. Me and Miss Mary have talked about this tracking. I learned by going on there about informed delivery, but only more recently did me and Miss Mary learn about informed delivery somehow expanded from packages to your actual mail and screenshotting pictures of the actual each piece of mail, and you checking off what you didn't get and what you did get. So it wasn't just packages anymore, it's actually mail. Okay, go ahead, Miss Mary. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I have like bank statements and so forth. Very important mail to me. And I haven't received not a one, but there's a picture on this informed delivery that's showing that they gave my bank statement to somebody, but it wasn't me. Are we trying to start crime where other people have your information? That is some very pertinent information that people and other people should not have. Now, April and I observed a young man around the 1st of November that had a whole bunch of mail, and he had it lined up on the fence across a street. We could not figure out where did this young man get this amount of mail from, and why was he sorting it on the fence, one house from where he lived. That was a lot of mail to be delivered to that house. They also have told us that the postman or post person are being robbed for their keys, and they go and unlock the box and take the mail out. There's also another rumor that people are using some kind of Velcro stuff on the bottom on a stick, and they stick it in the mailbox, and they take the mail out. But that still doesn't explain how, if you got a picture of my mail, why didn't it arrive at my house? You said it was delivered, but it has not been delivered. Now, I'm old school and I like using the mail service, but I'm receiving ghost mail. This is not right. I proceeded to have to mail a box off to my son on the 6th of January. I was a little late, and I went into the post office, and I asked in the post office, I inquired about what is going on with the mail. And in a nonchalant type way, the young lady tells me, "Oh, we are understaffed." Now, being understaffed is one thing, but that does not help me with my predicament. She did not elaborate. I didn't want to argue with her about anything. I just wanted to know what's up with the mail. But I was really put off when she told me that. And only time that I been able to get mail in December was when I called and complained, is just the word. I mean, I was inquiring, but they call it complaining. And April went online and to the email because she's more of a computer person. And then they would bring my mail. But it's a funny thing about it, there was the SUVs be out in front of my house. And they'll toot the horn at me, and then they pull off. Then the Holy Spirit says to me, "Well, look in the mailbox." So I look in the mailbox, my mail is there. But then I don't get any more mail until I get back on there and complain again. And then my mail show up, and then it stops again. If I never say anything, I never get mail. Now, my bank statement, 2 bank statements that I was supposed to have in December has not arrived yet. But it shows on this informed delivery that they were delivered to me.
Right.
They were not delivered to me. And I'm feeling a little, I don't know why I'm feeling like a little left out here, I would say. Because we have no representation in this neighborhood. We can't contact the alderman because he gets an attitude because he's working with Sears on Harlem. So he ain't got no time for the people that's east of Harlem. We have no police presence. I think I probably would faint if I seen a police car coming down our street. I'm not here to bash anyone. I believe in live and let live. I'm just asking, is there anyone else out there in this predicament with me with my mail?
Miss Mary tried to. We both tried on both our ends to try to get a definitive answer as to what it is. And I see that whenever we would try to, she would go on the phone. It would be like a collaborative. It would be like the same day she would go on the phone and I would go online, or vice versa. But we would make sure that one of us would start it and then end it. Like she would go, and we noticed that there was a pattern of when we did that, we had started at some point getting calls, like they actually would contact through email and phone, just how we, set it towards them, how we got the ball rolling, and asked questions and said your mail will be there. And then that's when we started to see people personally, it would appear to be, this is what they didn't say, which is, I don't know, fine, I guess, because we're wanting to get our mail. It said there was no mail truck. We didn't see a mailman, but we would see people in their cars. And at first, I didn't know what it was at first. I thought just people, regular people, going to their, guests. I didn't make the connection at night and certain cars being actually people that work for the Postal Service and them driving it in their own cars, SUVs, and delivering our mail. But trying to get an answer, is this the new normal? Is this the new way? No one will answer, like say definitively, yes, this is.
Right.
That you're having to guess this is what it is. Now we're at the point where even though we call and email, this is a new phase.
Right.
For the new, even though you call XYZ, we still haven't gotten it. So I don't know what that is, and no one's giving us a set answer.
Well, like April said, back when we started in December, asking about mail, I would get a call back from a young lady. She would ask me, "Do I have another question? How long had it been since I received mail?" And they on their phone, they say, if you haven't gotten mail in 2 days,
right,
that you are supposed to be getting some mail. Let them know about the mail. Well, only thing I can say, I don't get mail for a whole week, unless I call. And the young lady told me that on a couple of occasions, she said, "Oh, you will be getting your mail today." And sometime before I retire for the night, like April mentioned, there's a vehicle out in front of my house because I don't park out front. And it would be hard for me to ascertain, is this a person just come to visit someone and parked in front of my house, or is what it is, or a relative of mine parking, what they saying, snooping as usual. I don't know why this car is here, but then you can get up and go to the mailbox and you got your mail there. Another issue that I've had for years, and I do not get it, the way they ascertain what mail go where. April and I are junior postmen. We wind up with more mail from other people than our normal mail. So we usually take it upon ourselves because it's within, say, a block or two. Mm-hmm. We will deliver the mail to the person.
Right.
Now, is these the people that come into our house delivering our mail? I don't know. Or in some cases, we just take it and put it back in the mailbox and hope that it goes back.
At first, I'm glad that Miss Mary said that. At first, I thought that it was someone that, like she's saying, someone else getting our mail, which is very common, and it has become even more common. It's being,
yeah,
and thinking this, and we've talked amongst each other, someone else, coming and doing what we do, mm-hmm. Okay, but the thing for me is the fact that if that were the case, every single time I notice when Miss Mary calls and I email that same day, but at night. Or she calls it, however the scenario, we both do it together the same day, that night. Always at night, and people work, I get it. Okay. That cannot be connected to a neighbor, because every single time we contact it, then we get the mail. When we contact the postal service, we're not getting it, of course, in the way that's how we're supposed to get it, because you're supposed to deliver the mail. So that's what I started to see when I started to think about it. I thought the same thing, but then when I thought about it, every time we contact them, every evening of that day that we contact by phone and by email, someone in a car, and like Miss Mary said, the last time that happened, the person sat there in their vehicle, and when you went to the window and looked out, they was watching, and they tooted their horn. So, and then she made the connection, like, something's up. At first, you kind of like, who's that? That's because you're trying to discern, because no one's saying anything. If they were to say, we're having issues, which we already figured out, okay, you're having issues, and some are out of your control, and maybe some are within your control. I don't know, because no one's saying anything. And if you're going to do this, you're going to have to contact or whatever. We had some robberies, and we don't want your mail to get taken. Now, I've thought of many scenarios, but when you ask someone directly, they will not, for all the money in the world, tell you something, a definitive answer, so you'll know, okay, this is how I proceed, this is what I expect. I'm okay with that. But if I ask you something directly and you avoid answering it, I don't know. Open your mouth. You're not children. You're grown people. We know that there's a lot going on, where if you were to say, we're having issues, we're not supported here at the post office, it's only how many people a day. I mean, I know that you might not want to do that, because to a certain extent, because of confidentiality and everything. But let's be real. Are people, how many people are holding on to confidentiality? The people I worked with, they were not very confidential. They kept saying it, but they were telling everything. Okay, so anyway, real facts, what we see. Okay, so this is what it is. We noticed there were a lot of people taking other people's mail. You get a lot of mail here. We want to protect it low key. If you just contact us, this is what it is, and then we'll know how to proceed. But we're just standing around with our hands in the air, like, what's going on? Who's out there? What is that? Who's over there? I mean, it's a confusion that does not have to exist. What do you think? I don't know why we have to be guessing.
Your words are very much
it's like
into what I was thinking.
Shit, I don't get it.
There's nothing I could add to that part of it, because there's no answer. It's like, I mean, if you got a job,
I don't get it.
I don't either.
What is it? Tell me.
I get just a lot and lots of mail. April gets quite a bit of books, magazines, and all kinds of different things. Teaching material, all type things. We are not getting anything. Where is this mail going? To someone else's house, and they're casting it in the garbage? Are you just holding it at the post? You taking pictures of it and holding it at the post office?
Is this the new procedure?
Is this the new procedure? We're only giving you your mail by request, but I haven't gotten my bank statements by request. I keep calling, and they still out there. I have done some, I guess, mean things, but before I realized what was going on, I'm yelling at the bank about my statements. I'm yelling at them about this, and I'm thinking they didn't even send it out. That's what's happening.
But clearly there's issues.
Because they were sending it out.
Yeah.
But I just didn't receive it. But that's where the communication
For sure.
breakdown, it leaves where it's supposed to come to me.
Right.
And in between there, my mail, I don't know where it's at because it never arrived at my home. And I'm calling you, begging you, would you please send me my mail? It will be there today. Okay, that was before Christmas. Now it's after Christmas.
Right.
And I called and emailed, April emailed, and there's no response. They'll send me an email, which I got in this morning, which I'm on here about because I was very annoyed knowing that April is always on the case. They send me an email and says that the situation has been cleared up. But I still haven't
So they sent an email from the email I sent yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't know you sent one yesterday, but they sent me an email today. So I just gathered that it was from something that you was on because you stay on top of things. When I got the email today and it had been resolved, I went directly to my mailbox and there was nothing in it. It was only a package for April. And I picked that up and brought it and put it in. That was from Amazon, not from the Postal Service.
Okay.
Now they wanting the same. I don't know.
No,
I didn't think so.
But you know what? No, because like I said, packages there. It started informed delivery had to do with packages and tracking, and that's the reason why I joined it last year because I started having problems with it, and we have already discussed that. So then we noticed when I went on there to look for something, and then I realized that they actually had informed delivery. So clearly, this is not just us. They added mail to it because the mail was not there before. And every piece of mail that they take a picture of, there is a little box and you can check off, no, I didn't get this, no, I didn't get this, and it'll say submitted. I tried to give them enough time from the mail that we didn't get Monday, and I said, I'm just going to give it, some days. Today is Thursday.
Right.
For Monday, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to see. I'm going to give you a chance because things happen at these jobs, and then you end up, people leave, different things happen, and they put all this work on a very few people. And right. I get it. Me and Miss Mary get it. Ooh, do we get it? We get it. We get it. Okay. But then when Miss Mary kept saying, you know what, and reminded me, because there's so many things going on. There are other things today. We're not just sitting over here thinking about the mail, but you do wonder when things are important like that. Where is it with your information on it? Okay, this is not just
personal information.
Information
getting used against me.
Right. So I said, okay, let me go back on there and look. Okay. And then I didn't do that anymore because it was already checked off. But I hadn't heard anything or anything. So then they have a way you can contact them by actual email, send them a message. I've already tried live chat. There's never anyone on there. They'll say connecting. And I could leave the computer on for years and no one will ever come on to address me. So I don't even bother with that. That's another go-to that I do for customer service online. Okay, so anyway. And so I sent, but I really didn't have at this point, any faith because I can see just this spiraling decline of every aspect of the Postal Service and life in general. Just any kind of service, any kind of anything. It's just collapsing like wet graham crackers. So we're just waiting for it to all, that's right, to just fall apart. And it might sound kind of negative, but I'm just I deal in facts. That's just what it is. That's what it is. Go ahead.
Depending in December, I'm talking about my bank statement because this is something more present that I'm looking at now. Who has this information about me? Did you rush it over to someone else's house and leave it? Because in December, I had, November? I think it's the last of November. I had difficulty with my health care, please, which is not unusual, getting my medication, much needed medication. And April contacted them and they said that it had been delivered.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, I had contacted the pharmacy and so forth. They got involved, and they kept checking to see where my medication. I still haven't gotten it. And luckily for me, my neighbors to the north, she happened to be expecting a package. And she looked behind a bench by their house, and she found my medication. Someone came through
and threw it
over there. Luckily, it was safe, and I got my medication.
It was not fragile or
exactly like yours. Sometimes they threw it across the street and
that made
tore
me
up
so
everything.
Mad.
Yeah,
that made me so mad.
Yeah.
It was nail. We talked about this. It was stuff when I started doing nails, and it was even flammable. If it was a chemical. It was acrylic monomer, and if it had been made in a different container, not hard plastic, that thing would have broke. It actually could have broke our door, actually, because the individual stood across the street and threw it like he was playing softball.
Yeah, well, he told his supervisor
for that.
He told the supervisors that he thought he was a substitute, and he thought the gate was locked. So how could?
But why would you stand across the street?
How would you know whether the door was locked? The gate was locked or not if you crossed the street?
That scared the mess out of me because we heard it when it hit the door.
I rest my case.
And looked out, and it was somebody walking away, standing with a suit with the posters. How you gonna know if you stand across the street and you doing like swing, batter, swing across the street? They teach you that. Is that how they taught you at the post service to go and you got a good arm on you there, bruh? Thank you. I paid for this with my coin, okay? And you gonna it's locked? No, it ain't locked. No. Even if you had just dropped it, or that would. But, when that happened, me and Miss Merritt were here, and we were like, what's that sound?
And ran to the door. And we saw you still across the street.
Wow, really? Okay, enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm going to
they made me mad now. That was a while back. Ooh.
Well, I hate to open an old wound, but
it was locked. Don't lie.
It was nice chatting with you again, April, and I got to
keep up the good work, postal workers.
I'm going to try and get on this podcast a little bit more often today, but I opened up some old wounds here from April and me, so I'm going to try to give her some coffee or something to try to calm her down about all her stuff, because she don't waste nothing.
No, I'm the cheapest woman, El Cheapo. Instead of El Chapo, I'm El Cheapo, okay? I was always like that.
Sure was.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for listening to Teachable Moments with April. If you did enjoy this episode, I invite you to come right back to check out my podcast and my other episodes. Don't forget to listen, add us to your favorites, and support by clicking on the link in the description. As always, be blessed and be well. Until next time.